When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
Nigga, please. Serious.
They have rights! They have rights! So fucking what, man?
Ayo, Quantic, run them bands up. Ayo, Quantic, run them bands up.
Baby, I can see what's in your mind and you don't say. Why don't you stay? I never felt so far from you.
So be.
Baby, I can see what's in your mind and you don't say. Why don't you stay? I never felt so far from you.
We must pay homage to him. We must pay homage to
Yeah, we are back, people. We are so fucking back. Shout out to all the white people in the chat. Today's your day. We finally have statistical, undeniable, rather. We have infallible, incontrovertible proof of what is ailing white America. And by extension, the rest of us, you know, because if white America gets sick, black folk, we get some kind of cancer, you know what I mean? So I think we finally figured it out, y'all. We finally got to the core of the problem. Yeah, we figured it out. We cracked the code.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
It's white women. Fucking white women. Yeah. Yeah, who knew? It's white women are apparently the #1 issue with white America, broadly speaking. And then by extension, the rest of us in this country we call America, you know. I've been talking about this for a while, actually, ever since the DEI thing ever since the DEI bubble burst recently, how most of the DEI jobs apparently don't even go to black people. Most of it actually just goes to the white folks. Yeah. Most of it goes to the white folks. White women in particular. And so, like, if you look at this chart here, these are numbers that were just put out recently. And you see more than anybody in white America, it's white women with college degrees. It's liberal white women. It's awful white women who support the DEI. Vladimir Zelensky, that caught me off guard. I didn't expect. Maybe they think he's cute or something. I don't know. But you see at a +31, they support DEI more than everyone else in white America. So white folks, today is your day. We're going to talk about what ails white people. And apparently it's basically white women. In a nutshell, you know. And we could be all succinct about it. It's pretty much white women. We cracked the code, y'all. We've cracked the goddamn code. Hit that like button. We are just going to jump right into the show today. We're going to get this one in and out of here.
My husband and I went to bed at the same time last night. And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and he wasn't laying next to me. And I sat up in bed and looked over at the bathroom and the light wasn't on, so he wasn't in there. So I got up, put on my robe, and then walked down the stairs to our kitchen. He was in the kitchen, sitting at the table, drinking a cup of coffee. And he looked really upset. I said, honey, what's wrong? What happened? Are you sick? He looked up at me and he goes, it's the 20th anniversary of the day we met. And I looked at the calendar on our fridge, and he was right. We had met 20 years ago. I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you remembered that. He said, do you remember the time that your dad caught us in the back seat of my truck? I said, yeah, I actually do remember that. And he said, do you remember when he came to me with a psh, psh, and said, you either marry my daughter or I'm going to make sure you go to prison for the next 20 years? I said, yeah, I remember that too. My husband said, I would have gotten out today.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
Now, in this next clip, I want to just acknowledge that Rachel Ziegler, is that her name? Whatever, the new funny looking chick that they made Snow White. I accept that she's not exactly white, but you guys made her white, and so now she gets to be a part of the jokes.
If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. This trailer makes me want to sit on the TV and look at my couch. I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I already want my money back. Coming to a theater near you, me, is that a threat? They should have made Rachel CGI instead. Mark Brown and the 7 Discord mods. The CGI looks much better when I turn my monitor off. Disney invites you and I must politely decline. I'm rooting for the poison apple. Why is Lord Farquaad playing Snow White? This movie should come with a disclaimer. No dwarfs were harmed, but your childhood might be. I haven't seen something self-implode this hard since that Titan submarine. Mirror, mirror on the wall. As a German, I claim cultural appropriation. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Snow White in the 7 CGI abomination. Making the dwarfs look like a PS1 hack reap was a bold choice. Rachel Ziegler looks like a medieval squire boy. Marvel's lost $237 million. Snow White, hold my beer. Disney used to make people famous. Now it ends acting career. Mirror, mirror on the wall, where the seats are empty in Cinema Hall. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the biggest Disney flop of all?
Whoa. That's one of my new favorite style of video edit. Like, they roast the hell out of somebody by just singing the comment section to you. I realized to a certain class of woman, an affluent white female liberal woman, this might be devastating, but just reading the comments back, it's a brilliant move. It's one of my new favorite things in life. But anyway, back to the awfuls, because they are quite awful. And today we're going to take a look at why they're so awful, in fact.
I am non-binary, and a question people often ask me is, how does my wife, this is my wife,
Hi.
she's lovely, how does my wife refer to me when speaking to others? Am I her husband? Am I her wife? Am I her husband, wife, or partner? How do you refer to me? And I thought, well, why not ask you?
Hi.
All right, the cute accent's kind of throwing me off, but did you say a husband? These are like lesbian hobbits. They've been banned from the Shire. You're not allowed to do this sort of thing back where Frodo's from. And so the lesbian hobbits, they've traveled all the way from Middle Earth. Now they live at an undisclosed location in the UK.
When speaking to others, am I her husband? Am I her wife? Am I her husband, wife, or partner? How do you refer to me?
Yeah, she said husband. Yeah, that is a word. They do look weirdly related. Anyway, shout out to a True Hype over in Rumble with the $2 Rumble chat. He said, time for that other type of white girl. That should have been stepped on. Let's go. Yeah, listen, today, it's not that kind of white girl today, but don't let me hold you back, bro. Who am I to stop your fun? You get to white girl heaven however you want to get
When
there,
I
bro.
die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
And a shout out to the Midwest Request with the $5 Rumble chat. He says, shout out to Hood Servative doing God's work out there in these streets. Thank you so much. My bad, in these streets. We out here in these streets, my man.
Count that fucking money, man. Count the money.
Don't forget to follow us on Rumble, y'all.
And I thought, well, why not ask you?
Hi. Yeah, no, I normally call them my wife. And that's mostly because I am as girly as they come. I look cis female and I am cis female, which generally tends to mean that if I use partner, everyone immediately jumps to making a set of assumptions about me and about my queerness and about my experiences that is sometimes safer. So like in particularly professional context, I'll normally use partner until I basically vetted people and gone, cool, using wife is not in fact going to cause an explosion. But equally, I like being able to go, look, I'm more girly, and everyone sort of expects a certain set of things from me, and then at exactly the right and normally just the funniest moment I can.
These women are what's destroying white people. Not just America. This is a global phenomenon, honestly, from Britain, Ireland, all the way down to Australia. Hell, I bet it's probably wreaking havoc even in Nova Scotia. Everywhere there's white people, there are women like this just ruining it for everyone else.
Going, wife, watching it impact, and watching the eyes of a middle-aged man go.
It's very, very enjoyable, and I don't mind. People have asked, is it dysphoric for me? Majority of the time, no. I think I've heard the phrase, any boy can be a baby girl, but it takes a man to be a wife.
And there's something very misandric. Is that a word? Misandric? I'm gonna make it a word. Misandrist. There's something very misandrist about a lot of these women. They center misandry at the center of their identity. And so a lot of what they do is going out of their way to make older white men uncomfortable.
And it is understandable, and I think gender and these terms are very flexible, and I think people sometimes get very, very attached to what it has to mean. I have referred to myself as your wife. I've referred to myself as husband, but I say I'm a husband in the way that Gomez Adams is a husband, which is that I adore my wife and my wife is everything.
And that realistically it comes down to honoring our queerness as a couple and honoring what that means for us, and the fact that these terms can be flexible and are flexible. There isn't an absolute standard, particularly with queer relationships. When I was younger and I first met them, we were at least ostensibly same-sex partnership.
We're a lesbian couple or a sapphic couple as far as people are concerned.
And that was a big thing for me in my own personal development, my own personal interaction with my own identity, going, okay, so I'm not straight, and then going, okay, and I'm also not a lesbian because you're not a woman. So this was an evolution of myself along the way where I'm going, actually, I do want to honor a lot of what it's meant for me.
Now, obviously, we don't really need to hear these gingers prattle on forever. I do believe you get the point. I want to take a tiny bit of risk and do something YouTube doesn't really like, but I want you to hear a raw opinion on what's wrong with white women, because it's college educated white women in particular, right? It's not just all of white women. It's a very particular thing. They're college educated. They tend to be more affluent, and they're the most liberal, the most progressive, the most diehard communist.
I don't ever like these easy answers like, oh, they just drove a chemical bomb to kill whites. It's like, maybe, but there's like probably better ways to kill whites, like, you know, eliminating everyone's testosterone with plastic, like, you know, that's going on, and convincing people not to have kids, and feminism. Like feminism, women going to college has killed more white people than this train derailment. One white woman going to college has killed infinitely more men, infinitely more white people than a train derailment in Ohio. Think about it. Because if a woman doesn't go to college, she gets pregnant as a teenager, and it's a bountiful abundance of white babies who then go and their ignorant daughters will get married and have 10 white kids. And, you know, 10 generations on, you've got 1 billion white people. So one woman going to college is worse than the Holocaust when you think about it. One girl, one beautiful white girl going off to college is a genocide, of trillions of unborn whites. Far worse than anything that ever happened.
Sounds a little extreme, but he's on to something. I think he's on to something, because the alternative is something like this here.
I don't give a fuck. I will at least be on the right side and not the wrong side, bitch.
77 million Americans, baby.
And they're all dumb. Every single one are retarded.
Americans.
Fucking stupid.
What are you going to do besides cuss and yell? Nothing.
You'll see.
Nothing.
Just wait.
Nothing.
It's only getting started, baby. I don't care. I'll cry all day. No, you guys weren't people.
We really didn't have much of this before girls went to college. As a country, as a culture, what Western culture in general, we really didn't have much of this before girls went to college. They had all kinds of better things to do, and they knew it too. And they would have rather been doing those other things, and that's what they were doing, and that's how the world became a great place to live.
So we will not be peaceful. This is not a game.
What is this going to do?
A lot.
Trump is still going to be your president. He is your president.
He's not. I don't accept that shit. I don't accept the DeSantis. I don't accept none of these people. They can burn in hell. Dumbass. I don't care. I don't care. Your comments don't care. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Typical crash out. Take a chill pill.
Listen, you want to see a crash out?
This is basically the Democrat Party just mashed all into one funny shaped woman. This is the whole party. This is AOC. This is Maxine Waters. It's Jasmine Crockett. It's Nancy Pelosi. It's the Rizzler. I forget her name, but this is all of them put together.
You little pussies, go tell your daddy more lies. Go tell your daddy more lies. All right, guys, we're about 6 weeks in. Who's going to do it? Who's going to take one for the team and do it? And I'm not going to say what it is, because I know that you know that I know what we're all thinking. Who's going to do it? It can't be me. I'm a dance teacher. I got things to do. But somebody's got to do it. Someone's got to take one for the team. Because we're 6 weeks in. I can't do 4 more years of this, guys. All right, guys.
Laughing dog, never mind the smell. Bear with her. She's clearly having a hard time. She's struggling. There's a lot of struggling going on out here right now. You got to understand. There's a lot of deep internal suffering happening at this moment. And there's very little we could or should do about it. You just got to accept that that's what it is.
I think people underestimate to what extent privileged, especially white women, are willing to sacrifice their children for the altar of status. For them, having a trans kid is like winning the lottery, right? And you laugh, but it's really the case. It's very disturbing. They're the only ones bringing their kids to drag shows, because for these affluent white female liberals, awfuls, a man in makeup is like the second coming. And, you know, they're showing dad or their husband or whoever how enlightened they are, because this is what corporate media tells them. So they can't wait to bring their kids and show how with the program they are. So they are a menace. And this, in my opinion, is Munchausen's by proxy. You know, they're torturing their kids for the sake of status and accolades. I think people underestimate to what extent privileged, especially white women, are willing to sacrifice.
There's obviously a lot going on in these women's minds. There's a little bit, but there's a lot at the same time. It's a contradiction, I know.
One of the things you can see here is if you just look at 18-year-olds, 18-year-old women of color are the only of the 4 that actually, voted that Harris won. Trump narrowly won, non-white men.
So I do find this part of this chart.
Now, as much as we are going to focus on the extremes of affluent white female liberals, I do want to point out, I don't really want to let it go. I don't want to let the day go by and leave black women totally off the hook, because, I don't want y'all to feel like you weren't appreciated. You're a part of this too. I see y'all. And I imagine on all these metrics, black women are probably the most liberal, the most progressive of all the ethnic groups out there. I mean, you probably have to find like an actual Chinese communist spy to outrank black women.
Shocking. I sometimes talk about narrative violations, and I think if we knew anything about Donald Trump 8 years ago, it's that young people did not like him.
Right.
And Republicans are maybe throwing away young people for generations in order to run up their margins among seniors. But if you look at this chart among white men who were 75 years old, supported Kamala Harris at a significantly higher rate than white men who are 20 years old.
Yeah, as white women get extremely retardio, both politically and socially, young white men become more conservative than their grandfathers. Yeah, it's a weird kind of bifurcation.
That's exactly right.
That's a real shift.
It is a real shift. This is the thing I am the most shocked by, I think, in the last 4 years, is that young people have gone from being the most progressive generation since the baby boomers, and maybe in some ways more so, to becoming potentially the most conservative, generation that we've experienced, maybe in 50 to 60 years. And so, the next chart, just to describe
this chart in some ways convinced me to do this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
This chart shocks me.
I agree. This is, to me, the scariest chart in this entire presentation. And again, something I'm very surprised by.
Well, these are two liberal gons, so it would frighten them, right? And so obviously the prediction of a right-wing future frightens not only, you know, the liberal gons, but a lot of the global establishment. This is one of the major activities of the global establishment with liberal white women as their foot soldiers. They want to suppress the nativist instincts of young white men, the growing populist nativist instincts of young white men. And so what you have is a lot of these white women become pawns in like this global power struggle to dominate all of the Western countries.
On the bottom, we have age. And at the top, we have the gender gap in support between women and men. And, you know, for support for Kamala Harris. And so what you can see is that, you know, for voters over 30, the gender gap was fairly stable at around 10%, which is roughly where it's been in American politics.
And voters over 75, it's even lower.
That's right.
It's a fairly low gender gap among older voters.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, you know, underestimate how recent the gender gap is. You know,
there's a low gender gap among older voters. Because as a nation, basically, you know, we were kind of moving to the left, and it was being driven by the women, and the men would follow. I forgot who I was watching earlier. They were telling a story about Rush Limbaugh and how Rush was saying to him that all these Republicans are pretty all right or whatever, but what happens is over time their wives drag them to the left. And I think that's true just as a nation, as a culture. All these social movements tend to be driven by women. Very, very women-centric social movements.
Historically, Republicans did better with women than men. And, you know, this was true across most of the West, that center-left parties did better with men than women. And, you know, that's changed in the United States in the Clinton era. But, it's been stable since then. But what's crazy is if you look at people who are under the age of 30, the gender gap has exploded. If you look at 18-year-old men were 23 percentage points more likely to support, you know, Donald Trump than 18-year-old women, which is just completely unprecedented in American politics.
Is that abortion?
Who knows? It's a lot of things. Affluent, white, liberal females.
Having a very surprising and downright troubling moment in this country when the very importance of facts is dismissed or ignored. That's a very risky business for all of us and our democracy. The historian Heather Cox Richardson, whose book I've been reading, explains in her new book, which is a bestseller, so many of you may have already read it, Democracy Awakening, that burying facts with false history telling is one of the keys to the rise of authoritarianism.
Now, obviously, she's speaking against Donald Trump, but take note of the podium in front of her. Women's White Collar Defense Association. This is a political group for awfuls. They are organizing, they are mobilizing. Well, they have been organizing, they have been mobilizing, and they have garnered quite a significant war chest over the years.
As she bluntly puts it, big lies are springboards for authoritarians. She cautions in her book's opening line, it's the very first line, America is at a crossroads, teetering on the brink of authoritarianism. And she echoes this thought in her closing line, that we are at a time of testing, and how it comes out resting, as it always has, is in our own hands. In between those 2 points, in the first line and the last, her book focuses on historical facts to set the record straight.
Notice how many women have written books just talking shit about everything white men have done for the last 10,000 years.
About recreated and imagined conspiratorial retellings of our country's history, recent and long ago.
Now they want to rewrite the white man's history. Never let the white woman forget every atrocity the white man committed. She ate steak that night. Every slave that was bought and sold and captured was done for the love of you. That's really the guilt of the affluent white female liberal. You're just as guilty as the white man you claim to hate. You were there. You whipped them slaves too. You were there at the auction house. You were there at the whipping tree. You were there at the hanging tree. You were there. Now all of a sudden you want to pretend like, oh, I'm not like these white men. Bitch, that's your daddy. I'm not gonna let you off the hook because you got on a BLM t-shirt. No, that shit is such a fucking cop-out. That's all this is. That's what this whole thing is trying to sidestep the guilt you putting on the white man. If he guilty, you guilty. I want to hear that shit.
My DC judicial colleagues and I regularly see the impact of big lies at the sentencing of hundreds of individuals who have been convicted for offense conduct on January 6, 2021, when they disrupted the certification of the 2020 presidential election at the US Capitol. As district court judges, we are all about the facts.
Ain't that some bullshit, huh? She's a judge. She's a judge of white men who do bad things. She decides what bad things are, and then white men go to jail. They have to go sit in a timeout because she decided what a bad thing is.
So Elon Musk and Tesla are in bigger trouble than I think he's letting on. There were several Teslas that were set on fire this morning at a Las Vegas service center. We know that the stock is way down. People are actively promoting and putting out ads and lots of social media and memes saying, don't buy Teslas. We know that people are putting them on the market to get rid of the Teslas they have at an alarming rate. And there is this video going around. We don't know if it's real, though, but it's supposedly a conversation, or an audio rather, of between Trump and Elon Musk, where Musk is very concerned about Tesla tanking. So this stuff works, folks. Keep it up. This is what we need. So Elon.
Affluent white female liberals, they are the heart of everything that's killing us right now. You know who has time to take hours out of their day, out of a work day no less, to go to the beach and yell and scream in impotent rage at the water? Affluent white female liberals. They're pointing all their rage for Trump at the water. They're aiming their Trump rage at the water. Their Trump derangement syndrome has forced them to the edge of the earth so they could yell off into the abyss, right? This is what is destroying just about everything good in America. There are other things down the line that are at fault. There are people we could blame for their individual transgressions, but way at the top of the pyramid are a bunch of chicks at the beach screaming into the waves, and they must be stopped.
Yeah. They're just going round and round and round.
There is a whale somewhere not far off the coast right now, swimming in circles, having a panic attack. He just got hit with the most retarded sonic attack. He doesn't even know where it came from. The whale's about to die right now because of these bitches.
Drowned. I know. Oh my gosh.
You must purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Only then can you be cleansed of Trump's wickedness. Yeah. Wash Trump's wickedness off of you, girl. Is that one chick topless? I think that one chick on the right just went topless. Oh shit, she washed a lot off. She did a lot of washing. Oh, she is really clean. She is zestfully clean. No, I'm not gonna show you her nips.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Trust black women, they lead the way.
Yeah, a couple of you guys, you thought I was gonna let you see the nips. You should have known better. Now you get to be punished with a musical.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Trust black women, they lead the way. White women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women, they lead the way.
I told you we're not gonna let black women off the hook totally today. Nah. No. We will not forget about the black women's. It's the white woman's day, but black women got to get a piece of
I want
that.
what you white hoes get, and I want it today, ASAP, not tomorrow.
Black women got to get their piece. It is what it is.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Trust black women, they lead the way. White women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women, they lead the way. Oh, we're mad as hell. Oh, can't you tell? Oh, we're mad as hell. Can't you tell? We dissent, you fucking fascists. Oh, we're mad as hell. Can't you tell? Trust black women, they lead the way.
Second verse, same as the first. Oh man. Remember I told you a lot of what Trump and Elon Musk are getting rid of right now, when they find waste, fraud, and abuse in these different agencies in the government, a lot of it, for whatever reason, it just turns out to be women. The waste, fraud, and abuse just happens to be women folk. And my bad, I didn't even notice this till just now. Let me go take a look over in the Rumble chat. Shout out to Free Zone Lou with the $10 Rumble chat. He says, should have gotten off the government titty. They're the most scared. Hashtag cut off the coddled. Listen, this was a perfect timing for me to catch that comment, Free Zone, because this girl just got fired. I know, right? She just lost her job just now. She looked like she's already living in her car.
I need that money.
Yeah. And then shout out to the Midwest Request with the $1 Rumble chat. He says, I hope history is not kind to these people. Hey, man, listen, some of these people are really taking L's right now. Some of these women, they don't know what to do. They might have to be nice to a man for once in their life.
Hello, Internet. My name is Eden. I'm an archaeologist, or at least I was, before I was fired on Friday with thousands of other federal employees. I've thought about making TikToks about archaeology for a long time. I've dabbled, but it feels really uncomfortable, so I haven't really done it.
Yeah, first of all, you're an archaeologist working for the federal government. I find everything about that dubious and unsightful, and I wouldn't support it at all, ever. Not only is it woman archaeology, like what are you digging up tampons and shit, digging up hairbrushes? But you know, all right, never mind the fact that it's a female archaeologist. But the fuck is the government archaeologying? All right, you realize our government doesn't let us. You're not allowed to dig like Indian sites. If you find like some kind of Indian burial or whatever, you're not allowed to do archaeology in the most archaeologically relevant thing in the country. America itself, I don't know how many of you guys are into this kind of thing, but America, just like the rest of the world, America has tons of unexplained structures and phenomena that quote archaeologists aren't really allowed to look at. There's like Rockwall, Texas, you know what I mean? There's like a snake mound in Ohio. There's Cahokia. There's mounds. There were mounds all over this country before we started just bulldozing stuff, and then eventually they were like, hey, don't touch these. But America is full of things to do archaeology on. What the hell have you been doing all this time? I know what they're gonna find. I'm just gonna rip the scab off because it's not even. I don't even know like why we're all pussyfooting around something like this. But if you start digging in a lot of these Indian burial grounds, especially on the East Coast, like east of the Mississippi, if you start digging in a lot of these Indian burial grounds, you're gonna find Caucasoid skeletons and skulls and whatnot. That's the number one thing that they're really suppressing. I guarantee you, if you start digging a little too deep, if you scratch the surface of a lot of these quote Indian sites, you're going to find an ancient white man with a little hammer of Thor or some shit like that, with some Mediterranean garment on or something like that. You're going to find old school white people. That's really what you're going to find. Yeah, giant bones and European tools, Solutrean tools and shit.
But today is my first day waking up without a job to go to. And I don't really know what to do with myself. So thought I might.
I wonder what you've been doing all this time as an archaeologist. You'll find a couple of Vikings too. You'll find a couple of Viking stuff. Canada's got a lot more of that. But I wonder what the hell, because she wasn't digging up none of that cool shit. So what was she doing as a federal archaeologist? I can't believe federal archaeology is even a thing.
So I haven't really done it. But today is my first day waking up without a job to go to. And I don't really know what to do with myself. So thought I might utilize this moment to give this a whirl. So feel free to send any questions you have about what being an archaeologist means.
Yo, Trump and Elon got her doing archaeology TikToks now, bro, and I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Trump and Elon got her doing archaeology TikToks because she can't get no money.
Count that money, man. Count that fucking money, man. Count the money.
Yo, she gotta get that TikTok check.
My way, and I'll do my best to answer this. Hello, Internet.
You sound like a lame ass archaeologist anyway. You look like you don't even get dirty. You do all your archaeology from a computer. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. You should have been a cop. Fucking pop. He said archaeologist is code word for stripper. You think that's what it is? She's just a comfort girl for the federal government. She's there to make all the guys who do the real work feel better, rub their shoulders when they're having a rough day, that kind of shit. Fluff their pillows, get them ice cold Coca-Colas and shit. I mean, she doesn't really look like much of a Tomb Raider, is all I'm saying. Say she was a clerk. Look at those hands. She hasn't touched a rock since she was 4 years old in her backyard. What archaeology do you do? Which you look like you even got your makeup on a little bit. You put on just a touch of makeup. Your hair all nicely done. Well-dressed archaeology. Oh my God, this is so lame. Oh, man. All right, you look a little bit more interesting.
I'm driving, and then I look over, and the ugliest fucking car is beside me, and it's a Cybertruck! A fucking Cybertruck in Canada! What are you doing? Rich people have way too much money. That shit pisses me off! If you want a truck, go buy a fucking truck. Those things should be illegal.
Cybertruck meltdowns are like a new 2025 phenomena. This never happened before 2025. Like, people may have thought Cybertrucks were ugly or unnecessary. You may have had misgivings about an electric truck like that. But nobody had a meltdown. Nobody Cybertruck crashed out until just recently.
What are you doing? Rich people have way too much money. That shit pisses me off. If you want a truck, go buy a fucking truck. Those things should be illegal in Canada. That's the first Cybertruck that I've ever seen in person, and I want it to be the last. I'm driving, and then I look over, and the ugliest fucking car is beside me, and it's a Cybertruck!
Okay, so segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned. Let's get ahead of this. Let's make a safe space for everybody. No MAGA. There's the drinking fountain for MAGA. There's the portion of the restaurant for MAGA. Okay, so segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned. Let's get ahead of this. Let's make a safe space for everybody. No MAGA.
She's almost ready to support segregation. She's almost there.
All right, white women, circle up. Listen, ladies, ICE raids are coming, all right? They've even started already in some places, and no location is off limits this time around, not even schools or churches. So you know what that means, right? That's right. It's time for us to put our very best Karen skills to good work. Now, I don't want to hear none of y'all hopping into my mentions going, Kendall-y, I don't know how to Karen. Bitch, yes, you do. Yes, you do. We all do. Let's not pretend that that skill doesn't come as a part of our default package straight out of the factory, all right? So here are your marching orders. If you see an ICE official, be that at your job, at your school, at your church, anywhere in your community, if you see an immigration official, you go full DEFCON Karen immediately. I'm talking pull out all of the stops, whatever you can do to distract that official and waste his time. I'm talking complaints. I'm talking demands to see his superior officer. I'm talking long rambling stories about people he's never met and situations that are fully unrelated. Nothing is off the table. And if all of that fails, you pull out the white woman Hail Mary. That's right. I'm talking about white lady tears. I don't care if you have to pull a full-blown temper tantrum in front of that immigration official. You do whatever you have to do to become a physical barrier between that immigration official and the vulnerable members of your community that he is targeting. Ladies, listen, we have trained for this moment. Our grandmothers trained for this moment, and they're...
When the hell were they doing that? You girls were training? I thought you were like yelling at trees and screaming at the ocean. You were training for shit? When did you when did you find time to train?
Our grandmothers before them. Karening is our ancestral legacy. Only this time we have an opportunity to put the skill to work for good, to do something for our community instead of against it. I believe.
Oh, Karening for justice. That's what it is. They're going to put their Karening to good use this time. Oh, okay. We're going to Karen for a cause. I'm a Karen for a cause. I got
believe
it.
in you, ladies. All right. I believe in you. Now you get out there and you wreck the absolute shit out of some immigration official's day. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Scout. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm an interdisciplinary major at UBC. I'm in my last semester. My primary thematic focus is decolonizing academia and public knowledge systems, and my secondary thematic focus is biocultural and linguistic futurity.
For those who don't know what that means, can you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, basically what I focus on is the promises that the institution has made and also the emergence of Indigenous ways of knowing and being across the disciplines. And I feature in a lot of stuff like language revitalization, or the emergent vitality of languages, rather, and just kind of a bunch of stuff. I've taken courses in over 20 departments, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Scout. I use they, them pronouns.
What sort of job is a person like that best suited for? Like, what do you give it? Like, what task do you give to this kind of person? The mine? Just put them right in the coal mine. Hey, if she dies, she dies. A lot of people die down there, right? Just straight to the mines. You know, you almost wish that was a punishment we could still put on people these days. Like, I sentence you to 5 years hard labor in the Alaskan tundra coal mines, right? Not even a coal mine, a cold mine. You're just down there, just banging away at frozen earth. There ain't even shit down there we actually want. We just want you to do this. Like, that should still be a punishment you could give to people, right?
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysterics, hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately.
It's weird how her introduction described her meltdown perfectly. Even look at the face. Like, I almost wanted to use her face as a part of today's thumbnail. This is a perfect face. This is, when you guys walk away from the stream, I want you to picture this face as a visual representation of today's show. Liberal white women, affluent white female liberal. I want this face to be the face that you imagine.
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysterics, hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And I am wildly emotional. I am wildly emotional. I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb.
Pointing out that you're wildly emotional makes you wildly emotional. You know, this is actually very typical. How many guys have actually been through this moment with a woman? It's like, please, no, look, sweetie, I know, I hear you. I just please, just don't get crazy. Crazy. You think I'm crazy? I'll show you crazy. It's about to get crazy. Like, this is very much like a woman, actually. As soon as I point out how wildly emotional you become even more wildly emotional.
And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
She's hysterical. Shout out to the Midwest Request with the $1 Rumble chat. He says, so this is what it looks like when the plans go according to the retard. Yeah.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
You are a bad person and you are racist. You are a bad person and you are racist. You are a bad person and you are racist.
You know, I feel like for a particular white man, that little clip, that isolated clip, I could sell that to a white guy. Like, if I had an app that it would play in his bathroom mirror, like, imagine, remember, a particular, a discerning white guy, a refined individual. He gets up, gets in the shower, he gets out the shower, and he stands in front of the bathroom mirror. And as he stands in front of the bathroom mirror, words of affirmation from a cute redhead.
You are a bad person and you are racist. You are a bad person and you are racist. You are a bad person and you are racist.
And then you get up and you go to work for the federal government. Yeah. I feel like we could monetize this bitch. I feel like she could make you some money. Words of affirmation from a cute redhead.
You can't use the excuse that you didn't know that he was going to do this because he ran on it. You can't use the excuse that you just don't want criminals in our country because you elected one to run it. You elected a felon and a rapist to run our country.
More words of affirmation. I mean, I honestly, between the redhead and all the sexy talk, I'm getting a little aroused here.
It's going to be hell on earth. These little incel boys are out of control. They got their MAGA hats on. They are ready. Rape culture is back, baby.
You elected one to run it. You elected a felon and a rapist to run our country. Immigrants are the backbone of America. They pick our fruit, they build our homes, and they are outstanding members of society. They do not commit more crime than American-born citizens, but clearly you do not care about crime because you voted for a criminal yourself. So let's call a spade a spade. You're racist, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should feel.
I'm telling you, we would compete with like the Hallmark industry with just little right-wing words of affirmation.
You're racist, and you should spade. You're racist. So let's call a spade a spade. You're racist. So let's call a spade a spade. you're racist.
Put a nice musical drop at the end of that. You know, some cool walking music. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
And you should be ashamed of yourself and you should feel embarrassed. And you will lose friends over this decision. This will be in the history books and you will be on the wrong side of history. You are a bad person.
I didn't lose friends. I lost weight. I'm slim and trim now.
And I hope you have to live with that. And I hope it keeps you up at night. And I hope these tariffs fuck you in the ass. And to the you are a bad person and you.
Oh, and she's a freak. Oh, God. Oh, man. And she's nasty. I can save her. I know I can save her. Not only can I save her, I can fix her. We can make her stronger, faster, damn near indestructible.
Steve Kornacki is at the big board with a deep dive into our new poll numbers on DEI initiatives. So, Steve, what can you tell us?
Well, you know, when you look at this poll, there's a lot that jumps out at you. But one thing I think that really stood out when we looked closely at this poll had to do with white voters and their attitudes on cultural issues like you just talked about there, and also political issues in general. And what we found is, look, the white vote itself, you're looking here at the 2024 election, white voters accounted for 71% of all votes that were cast last year in a presidential race. So it's a giant group, but when you break the group down a few layers, two very different universes, political and cultural universes of white voters emerge. This is when you break it down by education. Do you have a college degree?
All right, we're here at the main event right now. We are breaking down the different universes of white America. Okay, you had no idea they lived in different universes. All right, I know, because we're black, we're not privy to such inside information. But today is the day we get to take an up close look at the white vote. Fascinating stuff, y'all. Hit that like button.
Like you just talked about there, and also political issues in general. And what we found is, look, the white vote itself, you're looking here at the 2024 election, white voters accounted for 71% of all votes that were cast last year in the presidential race. So it's a giant group, but when you break the group down a few layers, two very different universes, political and cultural universes of white voters emerge. This is when you break it down by education. Do you have a...
You know what's interesting about this breakdown is that as much as we try to say Black America is not a monolith, it's like 80% monolithic.
College degree or not, and gender. And let me show you what I mean here. Take one of the questions from our poll. This is a basic one. What's your opinion of Donald Trump? Is it positive or is it negative? Now, among all white voters, it's 52% positive, 45% negative. He's mildly popular, Trump is, among all white voters. That big group is 71%. But break this down by gender and education. White men who do not have at least...
Now, real quick, if you see that Trump is broadly popular on average with all white people, then it's actually statistically significant. It's extremely significant that Trump's negatives are being propelled by white women in particular. So white people broadly across the country kind of like Trump, but these college-educated liberal white women, their numbers are so strong that they are the majority of the anti-Trump bloc in white America, essentially.
A four-year degree, a bachelor's degree, so blue-collar white men, generally speaking here, 69% positive for Trump, 28% negative by a 41-point margin. Trump is popular with this group. Now take a look at the other end of this spectrum. We're talking about white women who do have at least a bachelor's degree. This is a more economically upscale demographic here.
Right. So what we just learned is that, and this is something that snotty liberals like to talk about on the news. You know, Trump voters are dumb. Trump voters, they didn't get educated. They don't know anything. They don't watch the news. And there's truth, something like truth in that, rather. There's some kind of truth in that, in the sense that a lot of the people who like Trump are the more blue collar working class sort of people. It does kind of raise the question, though, what about the college experience makes people so liberal? It's not as if college is turning out, a 60-40 split even. It's almost like a 90% chance that if you come through most universities in this country, you will adopt liberal attitudes that you most likely wouldn't have adopted growing up. Or put it this way, you will adopt liberal attitudes that probably aren't really accepted wherever your family's native culture is from. There's something about the college experience that is making people liberal. And then more so, because today is about the white women seem to be suffering the most of whatever it is that's going on there.
And look at this, it's night and day. 29% positive, 67% negative. Trump is 38 points underwater. What that means is between these two groups of white voters, and these are each a very big chunk of the electorate, that difference there, plus 41, minus 38, adds up to a 79-point gap between how these two groups see Trump. And it's not just Trump. Take a look at this from our poll. Again, looking at these two groups and just a variety of names and topics and groups, your opinion of J.D. Vance, night and day, Elon Musk, DEI we asked about, as you just talked about there, DOJ, the Democrats, the Republicans, the Ukrainian president. Again, the gap here from the high 50s all the way up to nearly 80 points, just completely, starkly opposite political universes that these two groups inhabit. And when you go a layer deeper here, we talk about white men, no degree, white women with a degree. There are two other groups, obviously, and you see them here. These are white men with a college degree, white women without one. But what you see is those two groups are much closer to the median. So you see what an outlier these other two are. And you also see this. White women with at least a college degree, the only group of white voters that really kind of is on the left politically, aligned with progressive causes, democratic politics. Give you an example here. It's that
See, if you look at white men with a college degree, because obviously white women with no degree, that's plus 14. White men with no degree is plus 41. So the majority of like blue collar working class America, white America, they're pro-Trump. Now obviously women tend to lean left either way, but that plus 14 is pretty good for women. White men with a college degree, you expect that to go left, but even that's a plus one. That plus one is actually a huge number for Trump. You really didn't expect that. Even college men who are supposed to come out liberal and gay, they're like, I still like them though.
Groups are much closer to the median. So you see what an outlier these other two are. And you also see this. White women with at least a college degree, the only group of white voters that really kind of is on the left politically, aligned with progressive causes, democratic politics. Give you an example here. It's that DEI question, right here that we asked about in our poll. We had two big statements we read to voters. Basically, do you want to continue DEI programs or do you think they should be ended? And again, look at this divide here. White men, no degree, end it. White men with a degree, end it, they say. White women, no degree, end it, they say, by double digits. And then white women with a college degree, completely different by a nearly 40-point margin, they say, to continue DEI. So this is one of, it's not the only, but this is one of the areas here, sort of a cultural hot button where you can see it's that group of white voters in particular who are aligned on the progressive side, who are aligned politically, we see, with the Democrats, and who are important in pushing the Democratic Party. We've seen the Democratic Party move left on cultural issues. This is a big reason why right here, just as we've seen the Republican Party go more blue collar in its messaging, this is a big reason why.
There you go. Now, I want to share a viral moment with you guys. Just happened recently. This was on a train.
Now, with me now is Michael McFaul, former U.S. ambassador to Russia and...
Sorry about that. This happened on a train in New York City. Yeah, this is definitely a New York City train. I showed you a piece of this earlier in the intro.
That's why he won. Because of people like you. That's why he won. That is why he won. Because of people like you need to stop it. Bro, just like, girl, chill, bro. You're okay with that? He's a racist. How can I be racist, bro?
If you fucking voted for Trump, you're racist. He's a racist.
How can I be racist? No, he's not. Leave him alone.
Doesn't watch the news.
You realize he was a Democrat, highly educated.
Oh, are you? Then why are you wearing that hat?
Only I don't know how long the Democrats have been running New York since who knows how long. But then Trump comes in and just fits well, this is my style. I hope you enjoy the hat. Oh, she's like a attacker. She just That's why he won. Because people like you.
Yeah, boy.
That's why he won. Well, this is my style. I hope you enjoy the hat. Oh, she's like a attacker. She just
And down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Late in the 8th round, ladies and gentlemen. Down goes Frazier. Something going on. These chicks are not well, bro. They are incredibly unwell.
Trump. You do not have to consume his content. Now, that sounds incredibly privileged. I believe you do not have to at all consume his content and let that chip away at your physical and mental health. Instead, fucking touch grass when you can and focus inward. Focus on each other. Focus inward. I'm not saying totally disengage. I'm saying re-engage. I'm saying go within. This is not something I made up. I think it was some very wise Buddhist maybe or something. Go within. All the answers are there. Taking care of ourselves, taking care of each other. It doesn't have to include him. You don't have to keep up with every disgusting thing he says. Their whole purpose is owning the libs. There's no ideology. It's an act of hatred and a need for superiority. We need only to focus on caring for the people suffering in his wake.
Shout out to the Midwest request with the $1 Rumble chat. He says, they forgot that we have to respect you just to listen to you. Let's work on that first, sweetheart.
Detritus he leaves behind, picking up those pieces and taking care of each other. So this is what I have to offer. Hopefully I'll think of better things. I hope a lot of people are thinking of much smarter, active things, but that's what I got. Let's see.
Freedom isn't up to them, it's only up to us. I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, I'm the one to trust. Together we do whatever it takes, we're in this pack for life. We're wolves, we own the night. We own what we own, oh we own the night. Oh we own what we own, we own the night. Freedom isn't up to them, it's only up to us. I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, I'm the one to trust. Together we do whatever it takes, we're in this pack for life. We're wolves, we own the night. We own what we own, oh we own the night.
I feel bad for the young girl right here closest to the camera, the little tiny redhead. Because you can tell she's the youngest in the group and she's just hanging out. These probably her sisters. Like the chick right here, the other redhead might be her sister. And so the young one is looking to the older ones, her sister probably, for direction and inspiration. Watch this.
Whatever it takes, we're in this pack for life.
She just wants to be down. Oh, we're scratching the floor now like dogs. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna scratch the floor like dogs now. Okay, I guess that's what you do when you're a big girl, man. She just wants to be one of the big girls. She has no idea that these bitches are really weird. And now she gets inducted into some weird shit without ever having made a choice. She never got to choose. I feel bad for her. I genuinely do. Because, you know, hood conservative is for the kids. Hood conservative love the kids. But goddamn, and being liberal is basically like child abuse. I think if you're a liberal, you almost by definition abused kids in some kind of weird psychological way. Maybe even physical. You might have had a testicle removed or a mammary surgically altered. You never know. These liberals, they've been doing a lot of weird things lately, and they haven't been punished.
Come on.
I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want.
Come on. He told you to stop.
Hold up.
It's right there.
And what?
All right, so what just occurred?
He's making me mad.
Okay, did you damage his sign?
Do I have it on video?
No,
I can see that you guys have it on video.
All right, do you have an ID on you?
Yes.
All right.
Violation of student policy.
715, I got it.
Oh my god. So what's gonna happen?
Up to 1.5 million views.
720 After good behavior, 6 months in community service, the judge will drop it.
I am a full-time student. I'm coming back here in the summertime.
Nope. Next time you'll think not to do it.
Dude, like you can't find any like peace in your heart and understanding.
I will tell the judge.
Please,
Yeah,
sir, please.
I will tell the judge, and he'll drop the charges after 6 months, and you do community service.
It really does cause a damper in my studies and my future, though.
No.
Don't you think?
What I wanted to do.
Don't you think it kind of gets in the way of like me growing and becoming as an individual? Like I still have yet to learn. Maybe one day I'll change my mind.
It's a teachable moment.
What is a teachable moment?
Right now.
You don't offer like second chances, redemption.
It's too late now. Seriously.
It's not too late.
No, it is.
It's
No,
not too late. It's actually not too late.
You had a chance not to do what you did.
It's too late. It's too late. Now, there's something else I kind of wanted to cover that's like tangentially related to this whole topic. But before we cue that up, there's something I wanted to review. Somebody caught my eye on the political circuit recently. I want to review these videos here.
Equity is just a closeted way of trying to put in quotas. That's all it is. If you believe that a room full of 100 people has to have 13 black members because that's the breakdown of society and you only find 5 qualified candidates, how do you get to your 13-member quota? You have to drop the standard in order to get more minorities in the room. Well, what does that do for the 5 members that got there based off their merit? What does that do for me, who has a Juris Doctorate, my wife, who has a master's degree, and has served in corporate rooms for 20 years? What does that do for me, who was already in the room? What happens is the other 87 members look at all of us as though the reason we're present is because of the DEI policies. You diminish my presence there based off my merit because you want to try to provide for a phantom land where every boardroom, every university, every classroom, every chamber should represent equally the diversity of the United States.
Josh look like this DEI shit getting on his nerves right now.
It's unfeasible. I know what I believe DEI is, and I believe truthfully, it is simply a way the left is using the minority community, the black community, to get their agenda in. That's what I believe, but don't let facts get in the way of my feelings. So let's just look. Black Enterprise Magazine, a staple in the Black community, wrote an article noting a study where nationwide, of all chief diversity officers in corporate America, how many of you think are Black? 4%. 4%. 78% white. Well, let's look at the actual study that it cites. Right? You can come and see it by Zippa, looking at these professions. 76.1% white, 3.8% Black. Well, let's keep going. In 2011, 3.78% of all chief diversity officers in the United States were Black. 10 years later, in 2021, the time of this study, 3.78% were Black. We had DEI policies the whole time. We didn't gain a percentage point. We didn't gain a percentage point, but during that same time, white women gained more in that same study. How do we know?
Oh boy, here it is. I told you it was related. Here comes the white woman part.
Well, we can look at some other studies. Here's Forbes magazine. Who actually, this is what the title is, who benefits from diversity and inclusion efforts? Well, let's see. It's cited, according to another McKinsey study, white women hold nearly 19% of all C-suite positions, while racial and ethnic minority women hold only 4%. Overall, white women have benefited disproportionately from corporate DEI policies. Don't let facts get in the way of your feelings. Let's look at Crimson, Harvard University. When we were studying diversity, equity, and inclusion in administration and the admissions process at universities, they went in.
That means white women are stabbing everybody in the back. Stabbing white men in the back, because y'all not in it together. You stabbing Black women in the back, because you definitely told Black women y'all were in it together. But then when I look at the numbers, white women are mostly in it by themselves. That's crazy. It's diabolical even.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny Heaven. Snow Bunny Heaven.
And asked white students whether or not they supported DEI. Overwhelmingly, they said yes. But let's see why. White students at elite universities tend to view affirmative action favorably, most often because they believe diversity benefits them personally, according to the study published in the Harvard Graduate School of Education by Professor Natasha Warrico. Warrico interviewed almost 100 white students at Harvard, Brown, and Oxford. It was sometimes problematic because they saw affirmative action as something to benefit themselves, the white students, rather than a policy that was about justice or racial equality or access. Her research also demonstrated that white students typically believe they want admission to their respective schools based on merit alone. By contrast, many white undergraduates said they believe Black and Latino students benefited from affirmative action, and that's why they were on campus. See, all that did was reinforce racial stereotypes.
Representative.
Shout out to all the white women out there. We gotta give white women their props for their destructive capabilities. For a while we've focused on the destructive potential of Black women because their destruction is great. The devastation is widespread. And so they've kind of, gotten prime placement. And their videos go viral all the time. So, they become the talk of the town. But we've had to take time out and have a conversation about white women. You know, the numbers came out. I follow the numbers, and so we have to talk about what's going on with white women. And now we've kind of gotten the political out of the way somewhat. I want to move over to the social, to the personal. What is it like to be a young liberal white male trying to crush liberal white bitches? Harry Sisson has got himself into trouble because apparently he was one of the young white dudes for Harris. He's a part of this new campaign. And Harry has gotten called out by young white girls because he talks to young white girls. I don't know. It's all very, very much ado about nothing. But this is what it's like to be a young liberal white guy in the world of liberal white chicks, bro.
Harry Sisson addresses the Diddy allegations.
Yeah, so I'm going to give like some cliff notes here again, because I guess like we've now made this a thing, but I guess not many people knew about it. So again, here's the deal. I think like I'm gonna give like very blunt cliff notes. There was an individual on Snapchat who lived in the state of Illinois while Harry lived in the state of New York. They started engaging in consensual exchange of explicit explicit things. I think that the parameter for Harry was, my understanding of this is the parameter from Harry was originally set saying we are like, this is for fun. We are not exclusive. If that is not okay with you, that's totally cool with me. I think that like one big thing I consistently talk about, and like I debate with people on this all the time, is like, again, just being like very intentional about like what you want. Like, I don't think that there's a problem with wanting like to have fun, right? But being clear.
You know, as much as I hate Black relationship YouTube, white liberal relationship YouTube is just trauma and vomit. It's everything you hate.
About wanting to have fun, not leading people on. So being clear of like, this is what this is. And through that, I think that this individual then, I guess, leaked the photos and said that Harry got a girlfriend. I don't know. She says that she was led on. That's kind of like the cliff notes. Harry and this individual have never met in person. And
never FaceTime.
Never FaceTime. So that's,
or at least spoken on FaceTime, I should say.
Yeah, I think that's like those are the cliff. Yeah, someone said, oh, high school stuff. Those are the cliff notes. I think that like
high school stuff.
I think that I think that like again, like I think this is being like blown in pretty intensely out of proportion. But
and Umar Johnson right now, you guys remember Umar? He's still going through it. He's going through drama because of women that he actually had sexual relations with. Not only did he actually have sexual relations with these women, he even put a baby in these women. And these babies are grown up and they can talk for themselves now, right? That's the depth of the Umar Johnson situation. I don't think anybody in this liberal dating drama actually had sex with anybody else in this liberal dating drama. This is a touch-free scandal.
The idea being that like Harry engaged in saying, you know, essentially she asked, are you seeing other people? Are you talking to other people? And Harry said, no. Was he actively engaging in talking to other people on texting them or Snapchatting? Yes.
And now like Harry's got like his bro attorney, because you know liberal bros got to stick together. He's got his bro attorney speaking for him on a TikTok, because just like Umar, even in your scandal, it's your female audience that you really have to manage and keep in line, because they're the majority of your support and your money and whatnot. And these guys, without ever having touched a girl, that's the irony of it. Allegedly, you've never touched a girl or any of the girls involved. Like no touching has been accused. It's not about, you know, you took my cookie. None of that. None of that. You still have to explain yourself in front of the Longhouse women, the children of the Longhouse, right? These aren't even the old ladies. These are like the young, fruitful bitches of the Longhouse. Gotta explain yourself to the hoes.
Was that a mistake? Yes. You should not have done that. That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake. And I think that like, and again, I think that like in this, and I think that like in this aspect, and I think like genuinely, like we don't have any ill will toward these people. I think that like, you not like allowing the framing to be, not allowing the framing. I'm sorry. Like people expect people. We live in a.
You can say whatever you want. I think it is important. So yeah. So somebody says, so yes or no, you cheated. No, because I wasn't like I made abundantly clear with any of these people that there was no exclusivity. And again, I have messages.
Harry was leading X, Y, and Z. Like we both know that they were talking to both of us at the same time. In fact, I was in the same room getting the same images and stuff while we're now claiming that like it's a being led on. I don't want to get into this, but like this is like the framing here is unbelievably dishonest. It's dishonest. It is. I agree with the idea of even when other people.
I've never had to say so much words about a bitch I never fucked before. Like being forced into all this explanation about pussy you never got feels so insulting. I would be upset at that. Just that little fact alone would bother me.
People are being dishonest, trying to be better, but like, come on, this is.
So I wasn't. We're gonna wrap this up in a second. I wasn't gonna say that, but he's.
So now all the left-wing liberal bros, the white bros for Kamala, they broke up because you're not allowed to have more than one bitch at a time, apparently.
Anyways, for the first 866 of you guys, make sure to double tap on that phone screen and share that live and spam that comment section. Listen, I don't even know where to start. You know, I before coming on live, kind of like all day, I've kind of been like sitting back thinking about what I want to say in response to Harry and Chris, because I'm sure that you guys have all heard about that. I mean, it's been like the #1 story on Twitter for the last 30 hours straight. A couple news sources even picked it up. And I've been so mentally distressed for like the last day or two. And like even just the term mentally distressed, I don't even think correctly represents, you know, the journey to hell and back, just, you know, fighting through so many different dynamics, etc. And I think what I want to leave you guys with is I'm not friends with Chris and Harry.
Damn,
and that's
can't
it.
be friends, bro.
You know, there's so many thoughts that I have in my head. So,
yo, there was a rap song. It was a song from Freddie Gordy, and in the beginning of the song, he said, "Be careful of niggas that don't get no bitches, because they always gonna be jealous of you." I forget what song that was because I go back and pull up the exact quote, but that's basically what he said. He was like, niggas that can't never get no bitches, bro, and you get bitches, be careful. Them niggas always gonna be jealous of you. And it's crazy to watch friends break up because one guy has too many girls. Like, how do you stop being friends with a guy because too many girls like him? And he wants to like them all too. How do you be like, bro, I mean, bruh, like, bruh.
So many thoughts. So many thoughts. And I don't think right now I'm even in a place where I can adequately.
He can't even fathom all the bitches his homie was getting, and he ain't getting none. He's trying to process all the bitches. He can't even, like, it's like, and I know a lot of these girls, and they nobody calls me bro. All the bitches, bro. You can't get none of them.
Give you guys those thoughts in a way that makes sense. So I think for right now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not friends with Chris and Harry. And I think as time goes on and I'm able to
get your own bitches,
gather my thoughts and present them to you guys in a way in which makes sense.
His mind literally can't process the amount of bitches he wasn't getting. And he looked over at his homeboys and it crushed him. It really did.
We could do that. But honestly, right now, I'm tired. I'm defeated. And I've gone through so many emotions in the last 2 days. But for the
how many emotions does a young man go through because one of his friends has too many female friends? How many emotions do you go through? Do you even go through emotions? Like, because, you know, I've been young. You know, I've had dry spells. I wasn't always the guy that the girl wanted in every single situation. You know, I had my wins and my losses, and I don't ever remember taking my loss and looking over at my homeboy and feeling emotions about it. It was like, oh, damn, I got to get the next one. It's like, damn, I got to find another one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a catch a next bus type of situation. How do you have emotions because your homie caught a bus that you couldn't catch? It's such a weird place to come from. I feel like you need black friends. Your black friends wouldn't let you be a little bitch like this, bro. You need some niggas in your life. You need a couple of real niggas in your circle so you stop being such a little bitch, bro. How you have feelings about some shit like that? It's just getting way too many girls. You remind me of the snitch nigga from Belly, bro. On the payphone with your banana. Tell me, I don't like that shit. You probably snitched on him. You probably the reason why this whole thing blew up. Now that I think about it, you was probably the reason this whole shit fell apart. There's always a hating ass nigga in the crew.
The 2.2 thousand people in here, I appreciate you guys for being in here. Make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen for me. Sharing out that live. We are going to hop into the debates, but before we do,
you said you gay for that friend. That's why he mad. No. I don't even think all them young boys is gay. I just think they're little young strawberries. I don't even think they're young gays. I could be wrong. What do I know? I don't even think they're gay. They're just strawberries. They don't know nothing yet. They're just young strawberries new to the block. They ain't never seen nothing yet.
There's actually one other thing that I did want to say here. So before coming on here, I did talk to the women and I basically asked.
You know what? Now this one might actually be gay. Now that I'm watching him for more than 15 seconds at a time, this one on screen might actually be gay though. I did just get a radar ping, not gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. I just got a radar ping. He just might be the one.
Them if there's anything that they wanted me to kind of reiterate to you guys, because I'm sure that this message won't just reach the 2.5 thousand people that have just tuned into the live. I'm sure that it will be screen recorded.
So you're getting readings from your voice detector, David? Is that what you're telling me? You're getting readings from your voice detector? Interesting.
It'll be on Twitter. It'll be in a lot of different places. Please don't harass these women at all.
That is definitely a gay thing to say.
Please don't harass these women at all.
Yeah.
They've been sent their own.
I think it might be him. I back off of everything I just said. I think it might be him. You guys are probably right. You guys are right. I gotta trust the gulag sometimes. You guys are right. It's most likely him. The other guy's getting bitches trying to avoid this motherfucker. The other two over there, they were plotting an epic coast to coast DNC panty raid. They wanted to fuck all the young voters that just turned 19, and this motherfucker was over there hating. They tried to get away from him. I think that's what happened.
That have just tuned into the live. I'm sure that it will be screen recorded. It'll be on Twitter. It'll be in a lot of different places. Please don't harass these women at all. They've been sent their own address. They've been, it is absolutely disgusting. It is absolutely just gross in so many ways. And that is what they wanted me to tell you. Don't harass these women. Don't send them their own addresses.
You got on live to deliver us a message on behalf of the girls, bro? Yeah. Yeah. The gang was right about you, bro.
And if you claim to be like a fan of mine and you're doing that shit, just know that you're not a fan of mine. I just think that's so deplorable. But
you know, it's crazy listening to this guy. He never actually said what was done that bothers him so damn much, right? Like, what did Harry do in particular? Like, get down to the nitty gritty of it all. I need you to tell me exactly what your friend did that you would just disown him totally, publicly, for no good reason. Like, what could your homie possibly have done that you would just disown him? I mean, what would your homie do? What could Harry have done that you would disown him like that? I mean, listen, even if he wanted to see a picture of a chick's booty hole, is that worth not being friends over? I'm just saying, if your friend, you know, if he was sexting with one of these girls and he wanted to see her booty hole for whatever reason, are you going to not be friends with him the next day? Where's the line? Where's the line, man? Jesus Christ. You know, and I was talking shit about black men for not having any bro code and all that. Which you know, I stand by that. But I'm just saying, like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is like fatherless behavior. Your friend's not allowed to ask a girl to see her booty hole, bro? I don't think your friendship was based on anything real, if that's the case. You guys were never friends. You're going to let one girl's booty hole come between you and your homie? You guys were never homies.
Shall we? So before I get into these around 50 screenshots providing evidence and context for anything that I have said, I do want to reiterate something just for even more context. I met Harry in summer of 2020. We were both kind of like the original political TikTokers.
I wonder if it was her booty hole. Now every time I see a girl talking shit about Harry, I'm wondering if he got to look at her booty hole. Because you know one of them girls sent the pic. He might have sent that. He probably sent out a mass text with that one question. You know, he was just casting a wide net. You never know. Some girls be going and they don't even look like they going.
And we were on the Dem High Pass, which was a huge political TikTok account. Our relationship has always been friend-based. However, when I did go to Jersey to visit my aunt, he has a summer house there, so we did hook up a couple times. So it was kind of like friends with benefits, but it was kind of established that if we saw each other in person, we'd probably hook up. But our
okay, so maybe you was out there crushing.
conversations outside of seeing each other in person or whatever were never really like flirty or anything like that. So I was never under any sort of impression that we were exclusive ever. We never were like that. So my
Red Sigma says there ain't no bro code. The day Harry started getting a bunch of pussy, that's the day the bro code died. And we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie.
story is going to be different than a lot of these girls. Just putting that out there. So up until about maybe the beginning of 2023, I would have considered Harry one of my best friends. And let me know if you see a pattern here. But what really kicked that off was that he was the one recording my rapist when I called him and got him admitting to raping me on audio, okay? Which was great, whatever. And then Harry started drinking. So when Harry started drinking, he started getting a lot more aggressively flirty. I apologize for my hand tremors. I can't control them. But if you want to pause and screenshot those, these are times in which Harry was getting obliterated drunk and calling, FaceTiming, and saying very sexual things to me. I didn't really care. You know, it's whatever. Drunk words, sober thoughts, you get it. And then this is when I noticed kind of a shift in Harry. He started to gain a lot more attention, a lot more of a following. And he created a Discord in which it was a very exclusive Discord. And very strange, creepy people were allowed in the Discord. I was in it for a little bit, but I was like never allowed to talk in it. So that's where Harry meets somebody named Camille. Okay. I was advised not to, by my father, not to pursue an internship or a job with this Camille guy because my dad said he looked sketchy. Harry decided to go ahead and do so. And this is when I started getting messages from a minor, whom I will not say the name, with autism, who is also in the Discord. He was probably around 14 at the time. And he was sending me some concerning things regarding what Camille would send to him. Those are things I cannot show for legal reasons, but very much so did happen. And I contacted his mom, everything. But you know who was working for him? Harry. And I told Harry about everything that Camille was doing. Here's the proof of that. This is a conversation between Camille and the minor in question.
Girls will save everything and put you on blast later.
Camille texts him, why do they know so many details then? Why do they have screenshots? And in those same texts, you will see him saying he's going to lose a business partner, AKA Harry. Now, Harry would respond with, yeah, that's super messed up. I won't work for him anymore. That's crazy. And then I got this message from the minor saying that Harry still is working for Camille. So I reach out to Harry. And this is the conversation from that little debacle. And then it got to a point wherein I was seeing if I should be contacting the police because this minor happens to be based internationally. He's not in America. And I advised Harry that I'm doing so. And he starts advising me not to do so.
Hey, shout out to the Midwest Request with the $5 Rumble chat. He says, my Chicago black friends would just stare at me for 30 seconds, shake their heads and walk away. And it was the shame that made me change my bitch ass ways. I think a lot of kids need that kind of, you know, young boys, we need the pack sometimes. Boys need a pack because, you know, you don't always get it on the first try. But she's boring. I want to jump to these other clips here.
Don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Like actually lunatics. Like genuinely, they are. This individual in question is insane.
Wait, who is that?
And so, I'll say, yeah, you know, I can share with Chris. I'll send a screenshot. Yeah, no, like legitimately, Chris and I have been talking about this for days now.
Uh-oh.
This individual
Wait,
is
who?
fucking crazy.
Wait,
bro.
what?
If you want to support the live,
Bro,
makes
that
incredible
bro.
matches. I'm saying, dude. I am saying.
No. You be good out there, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You be safe.
That's what. That's also.
He
What
said
I'm
that's
saying,
what he
Kogo.
said. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Live. Don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Like actually lunatics. Like genuinely, they are. This individual in question.
I've been trying to figure out how I want to
word a video regarding this. But I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been one of these people. And if you have been, fucking props to you. Because I don't think anybody could comprehend how genuinely terrifying it is to do something like this.
Terrified now.
Yeah. I really, send me how you stop having fucking heart palpitations. I've been trying to figure out how I want to word a video regarding this.
I got played by a TikTok influencer for 9 months, and I think it's time that I expose his trashy ass behavior. We started talking in May of last year, right before my birthday, and he like wooed me. He was very kind.
They're kind of making him out to be like Andrew Tate, if you notice, right? On the left, we have, on the right, I'm sorry, we have Andrew Tate as like the hated guy who does women wrong. And he's out here, he's popular with the young folk. And so they got to crush him, right? But it's obvious why Tate would get hated, right? Because whether or not you even believe the allegations, those are heavy allegations. Whereas this is like the most high school Degrassi bullshit ever.
Felt really excited and thankful that I found somebody who, at the time, I thought respected me for more than my physical appearance. And yeah, I literally could have never imagined or even like fathomed what was gonna end up happening after talking for 9 months. I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but I created a private story on Snapchat for just him and named it For Your Eyes Only, and he loved it. He loved the attention that I was giving him and the fact that he knew that I wasn't entertaining anybody else the way I was entertaining him. Within the first 2 to 3 months, he had told me on 2 separate occasions that I was wife material and that he was, quote unquote, sold on my wifey application. He was frequently saving my snaps and just like making me feel good about myself, call me beautiful and gorgeous. So it's like, how could I not read into that? 6 months into talking, he suddenly is like, I'm not looking for any commitment, and
This is literally what Andrew Tate is being accused of, except right here at this point in the storyline, Andrew would have her do OnlyFans videos. And she might would have went too if she was talking to Tate. But this is literally what Tate is being accused of. The lover boy method. That's what they call it, right? Little nigga use game. Thank you, Freeman. That's exactly what Tate's being accused of, the lover boy method. And it's not exactly criminal. You know, we can take morality off the table because your little ass shouldn't be out here fucking anyway, right? If you want to be all moral about it. So it is what it is. Now, I just said it's interesting how, though, Tate on the right is, you know, it's a little bit more obvious why he gets the hate. But on the left, you can't even, like, you know, have a couple of different girls, you know, just talking to him.
I'm not in a place to find anything long term.
You got to be monogamous in the texting stage. That's crazy. You have to text monogamously. Any of you guys ever texted monogamously?
Right now, I'm just really busy, blah, blah, blah. And like, I was understanding. I was fine keeping things casual. However, I couldn't help but feel that he led me on. And he even admitted to that. He's like, yeah, that's on me for like not making my intentions clear. Okay. He tells me a couple more times after that he doesn't want commitment. And then next thing I know, he's posting a soft launch thirst trap of him and his new girlfriend 2 weeks ago. Actually, prior to this, I had found out that he fucked around with somebody else by him going live on TikTok and showing hickeys on his neck. That's how I literally found out that he was fucking around. And so I confronted him about it, right? Like any normal person would do. And he got all defensive and started like gaslighting me, basically saying that I was like overreacting and all this stuff. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? Keep in mind, he was well aware of the fact that I was very depressed following a very traumatic car accident that I had been in. And he still took advantage of my sadness. Anywho, I forgot to mention, but we were mutuals on TikTok, mutuals on Instagram. I was his only friend on Facebook, and I have receipts of this, of course, but he's trying to remove me from everything. He demanded that I unsave everything on Snapchat because he had a new girlfriend, and it was like out of respect for her. Bro, you don't know the first thing about respecting women. Jump to last night, I find out that he...
Bro, this is some really, really slow burn middle class hoes mad right here. Like, Jesus Christ. You ain't really get cheated on. You just didn't get
Hoes
chose.
mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
When my life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
He was leading somebody else on at the same time he was leading me on. And my world was shook. I DM'd her because I saw a comment she left on his backup account, I guess is what you could call it. And she was like, oh my God, I think we went through the same thing. And I was like, no freaking way, girl, spill. And so long story short, we talked literally probably 6-7 hours last night, exposing everything. Early on in the conversation, she tells me that he had told her in December that he had no roster. What the fuck do you call me?
You're on the roster now. Things change quickly. My bad.
You're talking to me for 7 months at that point, and you're gonna say that you have no roster. I see. She shared screenshots of their conversations. I shared screenshots of ours, and we basically came to the conclusion that he is a despicable, disgusting fuckboy. He sits here on his platform of almost...
Yeah. Definitely stable middle class family energy. Look, the other girl even had a dad. Oh my God.
Your wish is my command. I had been following this political influencer for a couple months prior to me DMing him, basically just offering my support and telling him that I was proud of what he was doing and that I was learning a lot from him. A little bit after that, I shared with him 2 million followers and preaches respect.
Is this the same girl?
Believing women, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's the same girl.
And then he disrespected him that I was a survivor of SA, and if he ever needed a victim's perspective during one of his TikTok live debates, I would be willing to share my story.
Is this liberal girl game?
A little bit after that, I shared with him that I was a survivor of SA, and if he ever needed a victim's perspective during one of his...
That's game for liberal women. Oh my God, I've been victimized before. Do you need somebody to talk about it? And now she's cool with the teacher. That's game for liberal bitches, bro. That's
TikTok
crazy.
live debates, I would be willing to share my story. He was really nice about it, was supportive, thanked me for sharing with him, and also for my willingness to speak on it if he ever needed somebody to. After talking just like a couple more times in Instagram DMs, I was like, hey, like you should add me on Snapchat if you want to. And he did. So that was in May, like right before my birthday. Pretty quickly into us Snapchatting, he started saving snaps where I just like looked pretty, I guess. And if you know, you know, like that's a compliment. It wasn't anything inappropriate. it was just very flattering because I looked good, and he was kind of telling me that, but
Oh my God, he saved her snaps. This is a long video. I'm
I
going
didn't
to skip
respect that
ahead.
request whatsoever. Then February comes around and he shows up on TikTok Live with hickeys on his neck. So I was like, obviously there's someone else and you're being dishonest with me. Of course I had to address this because I was hurt and I had every right to be. Not long after that, he discloses that he's seeing her. And I was like, oh, see, I thought you didn't want commitment, but that's my dad.
God, she's dumb though. I'm seeing both of y'all in the equal non-committed capacity. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God. Yo, this is such lame drama, bro. I almost wish I was watching some black people drama. Somebody would have started getting cursed out. A chair would have flew through a window. Car windows would have got busted out. This is so lame.
The next weekend, he posts a thirst trap on TikTok with her. And I was like, all right, got it. In that comment section, I saw another woman say something regarding the fact that they had been talking a month prior. And I was like, wait a second, I need to know if this is legit. So I DM'd her. It took all of like 1 minute for her to realize that we literally got played by the same guy. And I can't even tell you the emotions that went through my body that entire night. A couple days later, boom, I get a DM from another woman saying that she and her friend went through something very similar as well. And I was like, holy shit, I'm learning so much. Fast forward 1 more week, and here I am sitting here with knowledge of at least 6 other women who were played by the same guy in the same time period.
Damn, bro.
I'm just disgusted, bro.
6 of your friends? Oh my God, because y'all friends now. So 6 of your friends? Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. So you mad, huh?
I have genuinely never been more wrong about somebody in my entire life. For 9 months, I thought that he was this amazing person. I respected him. I thought he respected me. I thought that the person he showed online was the person he truly was.
Well, this is the crazy thing, right? You know what's so crazy about this situation? And this is why dudes in this sort of modern podcast, red pill kind of world, this is why dudes really don't like to give women any slack anymore. Because if this had been the other way around, right? You just got to eat that, bro. You can't get on a podcast talking about, I can't believe you would do this to me. I thought you were a different person. You told me I was the one. You said we were in a committed long distance texting TikTok relationship. And here I find out you were getting all physical with somebody. Like, see, as a dude, you can't do that shit, right? We, as dudes, we literally got to come up with like coaching phrases to help ourselves through these moments, right? You know what we got to tell ourselves? She isn't yours. It's just your turn, right? Right? That's a hell of a cope. No bullshit. And even though I accept that as a truism, it's still a cope. You know what I mean? It's still a cope. We gotta remind ourselves of that shit so we don't, get a little bit off balance, because it's really easy to lose your balance. And so we, as dudes, we have to just accept that shit. Like, hey, bro, sometimes you're gonna lose. Sometimes she gonna get tired of fucking you. She gonna want to fuck somebody else. It's the way it is. But with her, she gets to be a TikTok hero. This shit is so crazy.
And I was proven so horribly wrong. So when I started speaking about this publicly, his only response has been to say that I'm insane because he wants to take away my credibility
before more people find out about this. All I have to say to that is there are some very strong women that I am aligned with and share experiences with. And we're not going to stand for some dude getting away with icky behavior. You can't sit there and pretend.
Oh, you caught the ick. That's what it is. The infamous ick. I've been hearing a lot about this new concept called the ick lately. You gave women the ick. That was the #1 crime. Now I get it. It all makes sense now. He gave girls the ick. And now they're trying to put him on blast, put all his drama out in the street because he gave a girl the ick. It's the goddamn ick, bro. That shit'll get you every time. A girl gets the ick, bro. Pussies dry up, nipples go soft, throats get all dry. Nothing worse than the ick, boy, I tell you. I remember I gave a girl the ick one time, and I don't want to tell the story, but I remember the moment when it happened, and then it's funny because after that moment, it was like she was about to give me some pussy, and then it was like something was holding her back, and this was like not even right after, but like months after, like we were totally past that little moment, but I could look back and I remember the exact moment when I gave a bitch the ick, and then months and months later, I almost got some pussy, and the ick came crawling back in the back of her mind. I just know, because, the ick, bro, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to overcome the ick. Once she gets the ick, bro, that's it. You just got to cut bait and move on, man. I got to fish in a whole other spot now. And damn, Harry, you gave these bitches the ick, and that's all you did wrong, bro. Harry did do nothing wrong. All right, let me just put that out there. Harry didn't do nothing wrong.
If he had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people. When we asked, when all like a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody. If he had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people. When we asked, when all like a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
Damn, Harry.
He did inform me that there was no roster. Essentially,
Harry out there running through all the thoughts. Now, I ain't even gonna lie. This girl right here, you look like you shouldn't even be mad. I'm just getting, maybe it's the tattoos. I don't know what it is. You just look like you shouldn't even be mad. Them other girls, they young. They don't know shit. They all full of emotions and feelings. You look like you've been through this before. I don't even know why you out here tripping. You trying to clout chase.
implying I was the only person he was talking to, the only person he was receiving photos from. And I was, again, fine with that. But of course, if you're going to tell me that there's no roster and I'm the only person you're talking to, he did inform me that there was no roster, essentially implying I was the only person he was talking to, the only person he was receiving photos from. And I was, again, fine with that. But of course, if you're going to tell me that there's no roster and I'm the only person you're talking to,
Are y'all accusing him of violence? I'm not even gonna give that too much air, but these bitches just be saying shit. Oh, look, and there you go. That's him wifed up.
She wanna come with me, I get it. She wanna come feel me, I get it. Diamonds that since you want it, I get it. Shawty wanna, I get it.
Oh, look. Damn, he was out there trying to run him down. Look at Harry going. Harry out there living his young liberal life. Look at him. See, the other girl's mad they didn't get chose. They wanted to be the TikTok girl. They wanted to take the pic. They wanted to be the one posted up. That's all. Y'all just mad y'all ain't get chose.
I have slept all of 1 hour over the last 2 days because of this shit. So you're getting a speed run of my side, and then I'm never fucking talking about this again because this was insanely ridiculous. For me personally, this wasn't that deep in the aspects of relationship issues because I knew that this guy was a player. We started talking like 2 years ago, stopped talking few days after New Year's, few days before the TikTok ban, somewhere in there. And it was on and off for those years, very casual. The part that pissed me off was that this almost cost me a friendship with a really great girl. As you guys know, he was on my live on a panel like right after the election. I let him up on the panel. He was there, whatever. After that, I had like maybe a player, but a half decent person. I blocked her. And that's something I have to take responsibility for, is that I allowed a guy to use me to aid in ostracizing a girl from the internet completely.
Oh, whatever. I'm not even all that interested in what all these girls are talking about. I'm just kind of going down the list of all Harry's bitches.
Of this certain political TikToker, I am always available to talk. If you need support or just somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. I'm mostly crying because I'm really proud of all of these girls for coming forward, because I know how manipulative and conniving and overall dangerous this political TikToker is. And for so long, because I've been talking about him and his disgusting.
I mean, I don't think he met most of these hoes because he took pictures with one of them, Free Zone, and that's what all the girls are mad at. He told all these girls that I'm just texting you monogamously, and I don't even know if we're gonna be serious or like that, but I'm only texting you right now. I guess it was that kind of weird thing. And then he popped up taking pictures with some girl, and now they're all like, oh my God, Harry played me. We were gonna get married, and here he is with this girl. Like, it's all a bunch of bullshit. But yeah. So yeah, I need hoes crying over me. Hey, listen, Harry got more hoes than you, David. I don't think he fucking none of them, so you can be happy with that. But Harry got way more hoes than you. Yeah, no, Free Zone, that's exactly what this is. No, there is no shame at all about that. This is not even a joke to me. That's literally what we were just now doing. I really wasn't even all that interested in whatever the chicks had to say, because they all had clothes on and couldn't be that interesting, right? But I needed to take a visual note of all his virtual hoes, all of his e-hoes. We had like 5 at least, right? We had about 5, maybe 6. I'm not totally sure. We had roughly 5 though. I want to put it at a hard 5. He had a handful. He had a good handful. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. If he could like transition into actually touching some grass, then that would be nice. But he actually did get cuffed up with one girl, so and the other girl, the one girl said they would hook up every now and then. I don't know what hookup means in her vernacular, but he was out there trying to live. Harry was out there trying to live. Shout out to young Harry. It's good to see young boys out there making the hoes mad. He keep making the hoes mad, he's gonna wind up a Republican. Hoes mad is the path to right wing nirvana. It really is. It starts with one becomes two becomes four becomes eight, and it just cascades after that. Next thing you know, you're wearing MAGA hats in public. Do you count e-hoes by the number of DM'd coochie pics? I can't really confirm that, dirty folks. We may never get a real count on how many booty hole pics he actually got. Cause he was aiming, he was shooting from the 3-point line. He was like, "Hey, yo, send me some booty hole pics." That nigga sent the selfie with a booty hole pic request on it. That nigga knuckle up unorthodox, bro. I respect that. I'm writing that one down. That's like the first time you ever saw Allen Iverson do a crossover or something. I was like, "Oh, whoa, okay." I didn't understand. I didn't realize that was a move that was possible. I might try to use that one day. Send a selfie with a booty hole pic request. It's the gift and the curse, bitch. He was really shooting from the 3-point line, though. You would expect that kind of shit from a dude that's like, in his 40s, right? Motherfucker that lived a little bit. You don't expect that from a guy fresh in the game, He ain't even been out there yet. You wouldn't even expect him to know that bitches be doing that type of shit. That's why I'm kind of, I'm kind of in defense of the little young nigga right now. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm kind of on his side right now, man. He young, but he's shooting from the arch right now. That shit is respectable. That shit is commendable, goddammit. In this day and age, with they say the young kids ain't out here trying to take nothing down, and this man out here, he's shooting from a 3-point line. This nigga, no look threes and shit. Oh God, you know what? You gotta coach the nigga on, bro. You gotta coach the nigga on, bro. Say you're 54. When are you gonna learn? You gotta learn now, bro. It's never too late to learn a new move. All right. It's never too late to learn a new move, bro. Just add that shit to your old nigga game. You send a nice, respectable headshot, and then with some nice, clear, large block text. Let me see that booty hole. What's up? You know what I mean? That's all it's not even that hard. I'm surprised I never thought about it, to tell you the truth. Watching this young nigga out there work, I'm like, God damn, I need to work on my shit. Gotta watch this young nigga work. He out there shooting from the fucking 3-point line. He ain't even ready for this type of game yet. This little nigga is out here doing good work right now. I'm not even mad at him. He found his little liberal bitch niche. He gonna be all right. All these troubles pass. Everybody know how this works. Every now and then you girls beat up and they get mad at each other. This shit happened to me once. Goddamn girls met up at a party and shit. I had to leave that motherfucker. Goddamn, had to start over. Goddamn it. This shit happens. But he out there, he's ahead of the game early, and that's what counts. And I'm like, you know what? The little nigga's on to something, goddamn it. He might end this shit as a right winger. He just might end this shit as a right winger. You're getting too much pussy to be liberal this long. I mean, technically that's not totally true. What winds up happening, this nigga might wind up being, might wind up getting so much pussy, you just start looking outside the box, right? But generally speaking, you got right-wing potential. Anyway, I think we done came to the end of today's content. We might just hang out for a little while and freestyle another part of the show. Hit that like button for me, y'all. Hit that like button. Shout out to liberal white women. They really are the curse of Western culture, though. If it wasn't for liberal white women, we'd probably be like this. Liberal white bitches wanted to do shit like this. And because of this, we're not living on the Martian colony yet. It's all because of liberal white women and their desire to do the Watusi with tribal niggas. They have a suicidal fetish for tribal dick. And because of that, you guys don't have flying cars racing around the moons of Jupiter yet. We could have been Star Trek people. Could have been Deep Space Nine. Now she's doing her own Deep Space Nine right here. This is not a fair trade. This is not a fair trade. I want the real Deep Space Nine. I don't want this African shit. They're about to Deep Space Nine that ass right there, and this is not a fair trade. This is terrible. This is the death of white Western culture. And as a member in good standing, I resent that shit. As a person who identifies as white adjacent, I don't like none of these niggas. She thick though, but we could drop her. We could drop all of them off in El Salvador. Put all of them in an El Salvadoran prison. They got a girls' prison too. They got a prison for you bitches too. All of y'all go to El Salvador with this shit. We need to save America. Shout out to Joey Montana. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Joey Montana with the $5 Rumble chat. Real nigga reparations. I feel like these niggas got their reparations that night. This is the reparations dance right there. You know what? You know what? I just had an idea. We're gonna go into overtime. We're gonna run this thing over on the Rumble, though. You know how we do. We're gonna push this show over to Rumble. I just had an idea for an extended hour of content. You gotta follow us on Rumble. I just had an idea. We gotta look at the state of European niggatry. Yeah. Because you know how in America we have this immigration crisis, and it's a mostly Latino thing because we know it's the country right there on the border, and it's just become a huge thing over there, just economically and socially. And so our immigration issue over here in America is a Latino thing. In Europe, their immigration is a more African and Arab, Turkish kind of thing. And what's even more insidious than just the immigration itself is their level of pro-immigrant propaganda is is light years ahead of what we do here in America. And so I think we're going to take a look at global, well, not global, at European niggatry, because that's what's going on right now in Europe. That's really what their issue is. It's not all Africans, you know, it's Arabs too, but the Africans are a particular block. And it's not just Europe either. It's also Ireland in particular has become another a flashpoint, because Conor McGregor was just at the White House recently, and he was speaking up on behalf of his Irish people. He wants Ireland to remain for the Irish. And so we're gonna take a look at that. We're gonna have to go look at that. Shout out to European niggatry, y'all. You've seen it. Don't deny it. You know it's true. We was Stone Age. We was Ice Age, European, Salutrian, hunter-gatherers, nigga.
Wait, what? Great. Now, what's our motto? We was kings. We was kings!
Yeah, yes. European Kangs. That's what we're about to look at. European Kingdom. There's a lot going on right now on the European immigration front. A lot in the world of European niggatry. And I want to take a look at that because it's fun. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's worth the look. So we are going to shut this one down over here on the YouTube side. Shout out to everybody that's been listening and following along. Appreciate all you guys, all your support. Thank you to everybody on YouTube, but we are going to close this thing down. I will catch you guys later. Hit the link in the chat. We are moving this show over to Rumble. Eurokangs on Rumble, y'all. Eurokangs on Rumble. Yes, the Eurokangs on Rumble. That's what we are about to do. The show is going into overtime. Giving you guys just a little bit more. Hit that like button on your way out, y'all.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.